Welcome back to investing. Whoops. We'll rewind that. Starting over. Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. As always, my name is Josh, and I have my good friend Al on the show here each and every single week talking about the financial markets, how they work. And in the last segment, we covered some income strategies and why it's never too late to get into the financial markets, why it's now is always the best time. But you know what? Yesterday was always the best time. But you know what? You can keep saying that day after day after day. If you have goals and aspirations, just get started. Yeah. And that's all it is.
Yeah, you can't trade backwards. You can trade up and down, but not backwards.
There you go. And that's one of the things that we hopefully can inspire people to do is take action here today and reach and at least have a plan moving forward. And that actually might be something good to talk about here since we're going to get into some retirement. Al is talking about how to have a plan for that. But in the last segment, we had a lot of people texting in for the investing class. If you want to come into one of our classes right here in Bloomington, I'm going to give you two different ways to call it to register. You can simply text the word investing to the number 210-210, or you can call in and we'll find a date for you. So we've been seeing some people like to call in and talk to somebody, a physical person, to be able to get set up for this class. And I'll actually answer any questions that you have as well. You can just call 952-814-4410, and we'll get you a date that works best for you. Call 952-814-4410, and that's for 2 seats for the investing class. That's 952-814-4410. So, Al, in this segment here, there's a couple things that I thought I was going to talk about, but I want to talk a little bit about a plan, an investment plan as well, since we're going to get into some retirement strategies here. And we have people planning for retirement that are listening, maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s. But they want to be able to have the opportunity to stay retired, but it's right. To do the things that they've always wanted to do. And it's going to be to preserve their capital. You have to preserve that capital and have it last long enough. But there are ways, if you feel like you're short retirement, if you're like, honey, we have some retirement, maybe a couple $100,000.
He was not referring to me as honey, by the way.
Oh, you're right. But you never know. But if you're talking and you're like, hey, I need to continue to build this retirement account, there's strategies to use that retirement account for growth.
You're right.
And I want you to discuss some of those strategies here on this segment, is how to, first off, protect and preserve that retirement account, but also to have strategies off that. So hopefully you don't have to go have a second job. Hopefully that retirement account is that income strategy.
Yeah, well, there's really 3 components to a proper retirement strategy. Once you go into retirement, first of all, the cost of living doesn't go down. It stays the same or goes up. And as we have said before, being alive is not free. So you have to, first of all, preserve your capital. You have to protect what you have worked hard for over the years. But then you also have to learn how to grow it because, in the past, retirement strategies were put together with the idea that someone would live for maybe 10 or 15 or 5 years. But that's changed now. People are living longer. So you may have a longer time span in retirement. So continue to grow your assets instead of just dwindling down whatever money you have in your retirement accounts as you pay your bills and do some traveling or whatever you're going to do with that money.
To paint a picture on that, your retirement account is a snow pile.
It's like
and
a pile,
as it starts melting, it'll eventually be gone. And then you can say, where is that snow pile? That's your pile of money, whether it's in a trading account, investment account with a broker advisor, or just simply cash.
Well, and that pile is gone, but what's not gone? The number of years you have left to live.
Exactly.
And that's what people's greatest concern is, outliving the money they have in retirement. So number one, preserve your capital. Protect what you have in the retirement accounts. Learn how to grow it by market participation, but then also generate income. And that's really the key. What's most important is not necessarily how much you have in retirement, it's how much income you generate off of it, because that's the key to being successful or being happy in retirement. But, before you go into retirement, this is one of the concerns. Bankrate did a survey. 74% of Americans, they found, have at least one financial regret. And the top 3 regrets are this. Number 1, not saving for retirement early enough.
Yep.
Number 2 is taking on too much credit card debt. Right now, that's $26 trillion.
Yep.
Number 3 is not saving enough for emergencies. What do all 3 of those require to not make them a problem?
Action
and income. Action to generate income. So if you have a job and that job is not providing enough income for you to have money left over to put into your retirement accounts, to put aside for retirement, you have to find some other way of doing it. For a lot of people, unfortunately, it's getting a second or third job or working overtime.
Yep.
Is that how you want to spend your time? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. But the people that are coming into our classes are looking at the markets as a way of being able to generate additional income so they don't have those financial regrets.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though, because we have listeners that have saved up a little bit. Some people come in and they say, "Well, I got 200,000 or 300,000." We know that's not enough to sustain a lifestyle over a course of a few years.
Correct.
But what they sometimes feel, and I know you probably had these conversations, is they feel, "Well, hey, I don't want to risk all my retirement account."
Right.
Explain why you don't risk that whole account.
Right. Well, number one, we're going to show you protection strategies to use. So if you are wrong on any of your investments, and let's be honest, nobody is right 100% of the time. No matter what an advisor tells you, there will be times at which you're wrong or they're wrong. Even Warren Buffett will tell you they have losses. Berkshire Hathaway has losses.
Well, look at the accounts right now. They're probably seeing a lot of losses the last couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of. In fact, in 2022, the Wall Street Journal does this thing called the Winner Circle Survey. Out of 1,412 U.S. actively managed stock funds over that 12-month period in 2022, only 7 had gains. That's 0.5%. And most 401ks have those accounts within their accounts.
It seems like every topic I bring up, you're in like an encyclopedia. You have all these facts from different places. You're like, what is it? Encyclopedia Britannica? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Interesting. That brings back some memories. People your doorbell would ring, and there'd be a guy there selling you encyclopedias.
Beautiful books too. They had the
Yeah, they were
gold
great.
tops on
Oh,
them,
yeah.
the nice
Right.
silky gold pages on 'em.
Yeah.
Boy.
I have not seen a set of those for a long time. They're probably antiques now.
Yeah.
Now everything you need is online.
Yep.
But that is something that's important. People are being put into something that isn't performing well, thinking that because it's a professionally managed portfolio is going to do well. But think about this: if you're in something with maybe thousands of other people, your particular goals and objectives are not taken into consideration. You just put into something with a whole bunch of other people. The only one that can really concentrate on what's best for you is you. And unfortunately, you have been convinced or
Conditioned.
Wall Street has conditioned you to believe you can't do it and you need them. Well, they need you. They need you because they're charging you fees, and they're charging you fees for accounts that give you mediocre returns and that expose you 100% to big drawdowns in the market. So what we want to do, again, show you how to protect your assets, how to grow them, and then how to be able to generate income. We even have a strategy where we actually manage the portfolios and show you what you can do to achieve those 3 different objectives.
Yeah, it's funny that we talked about encyclopedia. Now, just think about this for a second. So, encyclopedias were the way we got our information back in the day, right? And that's where we learned different things, different fun facts, whatever that may be. That was our Google back then. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're doing the same things with your retirement accounts that you've always done, and you were hoping for a different result, but nothing's changed, that's like still trying to use that encyclopedia. You have to keep up with what's actually happening, keeping up with the times. And if things are changing, you need to evolve with that. The markets are accessible to us now. They have been for many years. But if you're stuck in that strategy or that mindset of the 90s or the 80s, you're going to get those same type of results. And that's just like looking at an encyclopedia for information. It's outdated. Yep. And that's why we train different skills and techniques that are up to date with what the market is doing. The buy and hold just doesn't work anymore. It worked in the 80s because you had so much money pumped into the market, 80s, even into the 90s. Well, that's 23 years ago. If you're expecting a different result, now might be the time to do something a little bit different. And what we talk about here on the show, it's not anything new. It's just a little bit different. And hopefully we can inspire you to be comfortable to do different things. That's why we have these investing classes, so you can see it. We're physical people being able to learn and in a physical setting. That's how us as adults learn.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing so many people, especially this summer was a great summer because people were identifying some of the things that they need and they were taking action. Let's continue that into the fall here. Now is the best time to start learning this, especially with the great opportunities that we're seeing. Great down markets this week even. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for an investing class to get started on your journey to whatever that financial goal that you have is. Text investing to the number 210 or call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410 for 2 seats. We'll get a class that works the best for you. Coming up next, I got a few different things in the hat here I want to discuss about retirement and income strategies together. Coming up next.